Okay, hi. My name is Christian Herrera. This is my first vlog in English. I've been thinking about vlogging for several years, actually since the 90s when the internet became a thing. But I'm an entrepreneur. I haven't really had the time. I'm working too much. So first of all, I want to apologize for the poor video sound quality. I don't have a microphone here at my office, and I am at work. I'm just taking a short break to record this video and talk about how poorly I think the Swedish authorities is handling this whole coronavirus thing. On this channel, I will mainly talk about I will mainly be vlogging, maybe commenting on current events. I did two videos about the events in Chile with the protest, but those were in Swedish. I will put them out on a separate channel with this one, and I will start speaking in English because the Swedish audience is too small, and I cannot as well do it in English and actually practice the language and get better at it, because as for now my English is really bad. Well, first of all, now I want to talk about we had a confirmed case of corona in the city of Jönköping here in Sweden. It was a woman that had been traveling in China. She came to Sweden, and mind, this is a couple of days ago. This is about 2 or 3 days ago, when, and I don't know the status of it as for now, but when this came out, there was still this case in Germany. They were talking about they're not sure if the virus is spreading when you don't have the symptoms. Okay, and this is what the Swedish officials comes out with when they're talking about the case. So let's have a look at this woman.
Ja, att det dyker upp ett enstaka fall där, det har vi ju varit ganska beredda på att det kan göra. Så att det är inte någon stor överraskning i sig, och det ändrar inte risken här i Sverige på något sätt.
So what she's saying is that we should have a case in Sweden. It's nothing surprising about that. It's something that we're actually counting with. But there's no risk here in Sweden. Well, it doesn't change anything in Sweden, because there's no risk this woman has been able to contaminar. What's the Swedish word? Excuse me, I speak Swedish, Spanish, and English, and sometimes I mix up the three languages. It's so annoying. Well, but what she's saying is the risk for her infecting other people is minimal. But the first thing I noticed about this woman is, if you look at her body language and the way that she speaks, how she's flicking with her eyes, she seems extremely nervous, and it looks like she's obviously knowing she's saying something bad. That's the behavior I expect from someone that's trying to cheat me or trying to lie at me. That kind of behavior is a big warning sign for me when I see that kind of behavior. Let's continue to see what she says.
Men vad säger du till de människor som ändå är oroliga nu? Folkhälsomyndigheten säger att man inte ska vara orolig, men så ser vi ett fall.
Ja, men det här fallet har vi nu kartlagt väldigt noga, och vi vet ju med säkerhet att hon är smittad i Kina.
So the guy was asking, what are you saying to people that ask you about this case? And she's answering that, well, this woman was infected in China.
Sen har hon rest till Sverige under en period då hon inte var smittsam.
And she was traveling to Sweden in a period when she didn't transfer the virus to other people, when she wasn't contagious, which in itself is not sure. So actually this woman is treating the case as if they were sure that it's not contagious while it's in incubation, which is not true. People don't know, the scientists don't know well, as I am recording this to my knowledge, if it's contagious while it's still in incubation.
Och inte riskerade att smitta någon annan. Och sen har hon då, sedan hon kom till Sverige, själv valt att så att säga isolera sig eller hålla sig undan sociala kontakter. Så att hon...
So this woman has, that was infected, she's saying that after me talking to her, she told her that she was in self-isolation. She chose to isolate herself from other people.
Hon har inte riskerat att smitta någon annan på sin väg från Kina och de senaste dagarna.
Men hur har det gått till då?
And there's no way whatsoever she has infected someone else. This is a lie. So first of all, as I said, it's not sure. The scientists don't know if it can be transferred while in incubation time. So that is a straight up lie. Second of all, how can you trust that the woman wasn't in contact with other people while she started to feel the symptoms? In my opinion, I don't think you should try to spread panic, because panic doesn't help anyone. But you should speak the truth, and the people in Sweden should know if they should be cautious or not. Okay, that's my opinion.
Då när ni har kollat så att hon inte kommer i kontakt med andra människor?
Nej, men det har vi ju god kännedom om.
Hur pass allvarlig, alltså hur pass sjuk är kvinnan?
Hon är inte allvarligt sjuk, utan hon är helt stabil.
The woman is stable. But okay, so in this case, this woman has not been seriously ill, but she has the virus. But my critique is against they actually speaking out of their asses, because they don't know if it's contagious while in incubation time, while none symptoms are shown. And they're saying there's no way whatsoever she contaminated anyone, which can put people in false security. Okay, so this is the first issue I have with how Sweden is handling this thing. So here we have this article about the Swedes being evacuated together with other people. They have landed at the Arlanda airport this Sunday. That means yesterday, and it's about 11 Swedes that came here. Okay, here in Sweden they actually not putting the people in quarantine. They are putting in involuntary quarantine. And in my opinion, since we don't know how it spreads, we don't know a lot about this virus. Actually, I don't even know how many people have recovered. What's the recovery rate? The only thing we know that the mortal rate is low, but we don't know how many have recovered. Do they get further complications after the virus? We don't know anything about that. Is it permanent? We don't know. So, in my opinion, when they come from this infected area and they come in a plane with over 200 people, almost 300 people from Europe to Sweden, we're flying together with these people, all from the same area. It's a big chance that someone on that airplane was infected and would infect the others. So, since we don't know how it spreads, it's extremely ansvarslöst, how to say in Sweden, ansvarslöst, irresponsible. It's extremely irresponsible to just tell them, go home, continue with your life. If you want to, you can isolate yourself from other people. That is extremely irresponsible, and it's a falta de respeto. It's a lack of respect for the population in Sweden. That's my opinion. These people, it's 11 people. It's not offensive in any way to put them in quarantine. It's a safety issue. It's a national safety issue, and we're trying to contaminate a potential pandemic here. So putting these people in quarantine would be it would be the safest thing to do and the most rational thing to do. So, and according to this article, the people, well, I don't think it was this article. No, this article was just talking about the 11 Swedes that came from China. They were flown to France, and then now they have arrived at Arlanda. But on this article, they say that 36 people on the plane has shown symptoms of the disease. So, from the 250 persons, this slightly more than 250 persons from the EU that was on this plane, 36 of them have shown symptoms. And they say they've been talking to Anders Tegnell, state don't ask me to say that that word, but he's working for the Folkhälsomyndigheten, so it's the authorities for the people's health. And he says to the local paper of Aftonbladet that none of the Swedes are contaminated, and they won't be able to spread the virus for the closest 4 or 5 days. So, how does he know this? When the scientists still don't know if it's spreading during the incubation time. And how are they going to handle this? Okay, so if they sneeze, are they going to travel by bus to the hospital? How are they thinking about containing the disease if some of the Swedes are infected? If they're not under constant observation, which would be best done by putting them in quarantine. And the quarantine wouldn't be only for the main population in Sweden's interests. I mean, if I was coming from this region of Wuhan, I would love to be in quarantine and actually know if I have disease, because if I would get sick, I would be in good hands. I would be able to receive the best medical health care from day one, and it will actually increase my opportunities for survival. But if I go home and I start coughing, start sneezing, whatever, and I don't take it seriously, and maybe I'm just an irresponsible fuck, and I go to the local store and say, it's just a cold or whatever, I risk to contaminate, I risk to infect a lot of people and start a new spread in Sweden. So the way of handling this is, in my opinion, it's horrible. Okay. So according to this article that I was reading, as I said, I don't have much time. I am an entrepreneur. I don't have the time. I'm not even going to edit this one. This video is going out as is. Maybe some weekend in the future I will have time to start looking into editing, how to do that. I have a microphone from I also play music, so I have a recording microphone that I use when I record the jams and stuff. I want to try to use that one when I'm recording vlogs, except when I'm using my phone, because I have this fantastic Chinese phone that actually records very well, much better than my webcam on the computer, and the sound is far better. But in this article they actually link into a tweet, and then this tweet is from the Utrikesdepartementet, which is Department for Foreign Issues, and this tweet says about 10 Swedes that wanted to leave Wuhan has now arrived in Sweden. It's a big consular work has been done both in the Utrikesdepartementet in Stockholm and the foreign authorities has made it possible in close work with France and other authorities. But if you look at this, I mean, the Swedish authorities have lost their whole credibility, and it's nothing strange about that, because Sweden has been handling issues really in a really bad manner the last few years. Sweden used to be a utopia, actually. It used to be a great country to live in, which it still is, but it's getting worse rapidly, very rapidly. And this immigration crisis has been a big issue for the economics of Sweden. And and the funny thing, our Prime Minister Stefan Löfven actually said, "We have been naive," as an excuse for everything that's happening in the country. So, if you look at these tweets, and well, if you know Swedish, you can. I will put links in the description, so you can follow this tweet and do whatever. Use Google Translate to translate the comments. But basically, every comment here is stating the same thing as I'm stating, that it's extremely irresponsible to not to quarantine these people that come in the flight. I mean, people are getting anxious, okay? So what's best? Put 11 people in quarantine to get sure that they get the best medical care if something happens, or making people anxious and making people around the country suspicious, anxious, and I mean it's an idiotia. It's idiocracy, okay? It's so stupid that I can't find word for this. It's extremely irresponsible. So what is the Prime Minister going to say if we have if we get a big outbreak in Sweden? In worst cases, it comes to Stockholm, and we have a subway that's crowded. Bam! It starts spreading here. Bam! It starts spreading. We don't know where these 11 persons are from. Maybe they come from different cities in Sweden. Maybe one from Malmö, one from Gothenburg, one from Stockholm. What happens if we get 3 spreads? Bam! Like that at the same time. So it's a stupid. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's a stupid risk to take, and it's very stupid to make the Swedish population more anxious than they already are. Okay, I hope you like this video. If you have any comments on what I'm saying, please, well, where is the camera? There. Please give me a comment from wherever in the world you are, how you're feeling about this. In this channel, as I said, I'm going to try to record in English. I'm going to record in English. Maybe in Spanish sometime, if it's something that I feel more comfortable speaking on in Spanish. I also speak Swedish, but it's such a small language, so you can't reach out to any audience in Swedish. It's like 10 million people in the world that speak Swedish. It's nothing. So in this channel I'm going to talk about current events and politics, a lot about Swedish politics. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I don't know if you know the Ari Blatte channel, the Angry Foreigner. I actually had this idea to speak about stuff far before his channel came out. But as I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have the time really. But Swedish politics is actually, I don't know. If you want entretención, if you want how's that in English? Entretención, that's Spanish word. If you want entertainment every week and follow this soap opera that is Swedish, just follow Swedish politics, because every week something extremely stupid happens and something really childish happens. Swedish politics, as for now, is, I mean, I see more sense in kids in kindergarten. So yeah, let's leave it at that. Well, I have to thank for your time. I hope you're staying safe, you're staying good, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.